Welcome to the official YouTube channel for me, the Colin Cowherd Podcast. Go on, hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of our football content this postseason. Going to have instant reactions after every big game. Thanks. All right, let's pivot to something that we saw coming. I talked about it on my show Thursday and Friday. I thought the Patriots was the best job because of the stability at ownership and Drake Maye, even Joe Milton as a backup. The quarterback room is set. They're young. They're inexpensive. You got a good owner. Here, I was thinking about this, John. About once every 2 or 3 years, somebody gets a job and you know it's going to work. Andy Reid to Kansas City. Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. Sean Payton to Denver. Dan Quinn to a lesser degree to Washington with Cliff Kingsbury. Mike Vrabel to New England. He's going to bring up his GM buddy from Tennessee. He's going to get his OC. This one, and then also, conversely, Eberflus in Chicago. Dennis Allen to New Orleans. Some shit doesn't sound like it's going to work the minute the ink's dry. No. I think Vrabel is going to get, I think this team's going to get good really quickly. And I'm serious. I think they'll be an 8-win. I predicted that Denver this year was going to be better than people think. I think Drake Maye with a run game with Vrabel. I think this is a great choice. I don't see it failing.
I would say this. He also gets to take over. Turns out Jerod Mayo, while he was a high-level player and a team captain, was like the Jim Tom Sula of coaches. I mean, you read some of these articles. It was pretty embarrassing what was going on there. So you take over an operation that is just desperate to be led. And one thought I had when I was doing the reaction videos and podcasts last night, do you know who the big loser in all this is? Like, the Bills are good, and they're not going anywhere. But how about Miami and the Jets? I mean, Miami has major question marks with the coach and the direction and just the accountability in that franchise. And I don't know if you've seen the list of the Jets interviews. They've interviewed 775 people. So it just feels like every day there's a new GM or coach. You're like, what is going on here? So those two franchises, to me, with Vrabel going there, got no shot. Got no shot. The Bills, listen, they're way better, and they got Josh Allen. But I think the Miami Dolphins and the Jets got to be like, this is not an ideal situation for us.
Think about this. The best coaching candidate last year, Jim Harbaugh, went to the Chargers primarily for one reason, Justin Herbert. And this year, the best coaching candidate is Mike Vrabel, primarily for one or two reasons, takes that job. Justin Herbert comp, Drake Maye. Big, mobile, nice arm, smart kid, doesn't, totally focused. I think Drake Maye actually showed signs with a bad coaching staff and a pretty weak receiving core. Polk didn't do anything, the receiver from Washington. I think he's got, some kids develop more slowly. I don't know. I look at Vrabel in New England. It feels very much Harbaugh Chargers, Peyton Denver, Dan Quinn Washington. I think Josh McDaniels may take that job. I think it's going to work. They just need another back, another receiver. They need juice on offense, but they have some nice defensive pieces.
And I think clearly the Crafts, their relationship with him, I mean, Belichick has battled this, always claimed that they were sneaky cheap more than it was him at times. And this is a guy with a huge personality that if he wants something, I do think they will acquiesce. I had forgotten about this, but he led the Titans. They were the number 1 overall seed the year. Remember, Tannehill ended up throwing 3 or 4 picks in that game, and the Bengals beat him. But you look back on these Titans teams, you're like, how the hell did he have them that competitive with Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry? Those two guys were good, but Tannehill was never better than what, the 15th best quarterback in the NFL? And just some solid defensive pieces, but it's not like they had Lawrence Taylor and Ed Reed.
And when they let A.J. Brown go, remember Mike Vrabel came to the...
Oh, it unraveled.
Yeah, he went to the podium and just said, yeah. I mean, he didn't even hide his displeasure. I mean, he just went to the podium and said, yeah, this sucks. So it's like he knew it. That was the end of Mike Vrabel. I've texted him a couple times. I'm not going to get in too much, but this is somebody that had options. It's like Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh was going to find, Harbaugh said, yeah, I'll go up against Sean Payton. I'll go up against Andy Reid. I don't care. I need a quarterback. In college, you can win. I mean, look at our quarterbacks now. Will Howard at Ohio State, Quinn Ewers, Riley Leonard. College football is really about the roster. It really is. You can have a
For
B
sure.
quarterback. In the NFL, you can't. And I think Drake Maye is going to pop. I think by the end of next year, by Thanksgiving, we're going to look at Drake Maye and go, they found a 15-year NFL quarterback.
I also think what makes Vrabel unique is why so many of these Belichick guys have failed is all they know is Bill, and they just copy everything he does. Vrabel took, I think, the best parts about Bill, and I saw Taylor Lewan go on a rant. Like, Bill used to, like, question guys in a team meeting, offensive guys, about defensive stuff, or what's the guy at the cafeteria's name? I mean, who's the guy on the picture in the hallway? He would just have these, and it was Belichick's thing. And then every guy, the McDaniels, the Patricia, the Flores, they all tried to copy it. It doesn't work. It doesn't feel authentic. And Vrabel is able to integrate, I think, the best parts of the accountability, the discipline, and the detail, but also the personality of just a guy. I played in this league. I'm a tough guy. I can relate to you as a human being. I'm probably not gonna have a beer with you, but I'm just a guy. And I think those other guys really struggle with that. And I think Vrabel never coached. He's known as a belt. He just played for him. And then he went off to coach for Urban and then Bill O'Brien. So I think he's got a pretty unique perspective there. And it's why I was so high on Dable, right? He had coached under Belichick, but then he went to Saban and he went to Sean McDermott. He saw this other stuff, but clearly they haven't figured out the quarterback. And that's just a huge advantage. I think they knew this was the hire, a month ago?
Yeah.
When the Patriots released 8-paragraph statement 2 minutes after the final game, it's pretty clear that thing was written not on Saturday afternoon.
I judge the quality of a fragrance by the compliments you get. When I wore Ovation for the first time, second time, and third time, usually I walk past somebody and they're like, hey, what you got on? Who over there smelling good? That's the injection of confidence right there to you.
That's right. We want to be at the forefront of using the brand as a gateway for these young athletes. Custom suit, we do a photo shoot, we do video, and it's all about that partnership to create a personal brand.
And I love you guys associating it with more sophistication. Throwing a suit on a kid, sometimes it takes for you to see yourself with a suit on in the mirror to be like, hey, I have more to offer.
Ovation for Men, we're part of Amazon's Black Business Accelerator. Amazon has invested $150 million for the next 4 years to uplift small businesses like myself to scale. Amazon is really putting their money where their mouth is.
They're committed to excellence on every level. They want to scale these businesses to be amongst the best in whatever industry they're in.
You've always been authentic. You've always been pushing excellence.
Well, I appreciate that.
As our slogan says, every man deserves an ovation.
Yes, sir.
Listen, this relationship with Ovation for Men, Richard Sherman, The Volume, this is just the beginning.
I appreciate you guys letting me be a part of your journey. If you haven't already checked them out, go out there, get your man some. And get the sport too. And it can be Christmas, birthday, holidays, or yesterday. But make sure you get it.